Through the prayers of Holy Fathers, through Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us. Amen. Good evening. For those new here, my name is Father Joseph Swaden. I've worked in Orthodox apologetics since 1998, and I'm the founder of NFTU, True Orthodox and Ecumenical News since 2004. We've been in the apologetic space on Facebook since 2016 and on YouTube since 2018. If you appreciate what we do here, please like and subscribe. Today, I am completely disorganized, as you probably tell. I am trying to put up the live stream, the call-in link, which I will do if I can get the YouTube to work. I am not sure if I have successfully put it on Rumble. That was a goal. We should be live on Odyssey, and so I'm going to go through the chats. We've been doing a thing where we've been chatting to the cafe. Unfortunately, the cafe had an unforeseen circumstance and is it's kind of busted right now. And so I'm trying to fix it, but it's going to take a while. At least for now, while I definitely appreciate your super chats, I will go through everything. I have a very strong feeling the stream to Rumble has failed. And so that is a problem. And now I'm just going to go to Odyssey. So if you want to leave a comment on Odyssey, you can as well. And I will have that open. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm live on Rumble. Let me double check. Checking. Nope, I am not live on Rumble. So that is, I'm going to work on it next week. So let's go back here. I am live on Odyssey and on YouTube, obviously. So that's where I'm going with right now. So let's get started. Old Count Orthodoxy, good evening. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Good night. Good night. You're announcing you're going to bed? Okay. No, he's saying good evening. Okay. Good evening of the feast. And, okay, bless. And people asking for those asking for a blessing, may God bless you in the name of the Father and the Son and the Spirit. Glorious feast indeed. I've always liked feasts related to the Forerunner. Same. Very much the same. Good evening to all. Good evening, Atomic Lead. 2:50 at night in Poland. Okay. Well, thank you for being up. And hello. And always wonder. Yeah, we were wondering this. I think he actually told me it was originally lead, but now it's become lead since it's been used so much. But I have no idea. Good evening. From lead as in lead as in leader. Yeah, that's what we're kind of used to. Your blessing. May God bless you. Okay, so got a funny story since we're talking about the different streaming platforms that we use here. Now I'm starting to wonder if I have the right headphones on. Basically, I was on YouTube, as you can probably guess. I'm on YouTube a lot. Yeah, the Rumble stream broke, so I'm going to have to kill it. I'm sorry, Rumble. We'll figure you out next week. And so, let me see here. I was watching YouTube, and I got to a video by Louis Rossman, who, if you know anything about tech repair people, his channel is very interesting. But then I was watching it, and I suddenly realized, wait a second, I usually watch this guy on Odyssey. And then I saw that there was a thing for Sam Time, which is a comedian who makes jokes about apples. Technology has failed. Are you in your kitchen? I am not. I am in my upstairs office, which is a mess. Leading. Okay, so yeah, we think we're all agreed on the pronunciation for Atomic Lead, which is great. I got a super chat. Hello. Oh, well, it actually doesn't say anything, but I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much for that. We really do survive on these. It's this is kind of my job. So I will keep asking. But if you are on chat in YouTube or Odyssey, you can reach us right now. Today, I'm not doing the cafe stream because of the problems I explained with the cafe. So getting back to what I was saying, I was following this, watching this on YouTube, and I realized, wait a second, I want to watch this on Odyssey. I don't want to watch it on YouTube. I want to go to Odyssey because usually the YouTube algorithm is very good at getting more and more interesting things that you like. And I was like, but these are guys I follow on Odyssey. So I went to go watch them on Odyssey, and then I found something else, which I thought was kind of crazy. It was kind of interesting. And it is, as many people may know, you can copy your YouTube streams to Odyssey, which is what I do. But I found a video which I'm going to share because sometimes it's interesting to see how Protestants, because this is a Protestant channel that I found, but they get that there's something seriously wrong when it comes to ecumenism. Sometimes they don't even get the words right, but they know something's wrong. So I found a channel called Little Light Studios, and hold on, what Father Joseph? Haha. Greetings, Father Antonios. Are there cases of communion with heretics in the history of Orthodoxy that haven't led to schism that were widely known at the time and lasted a long time? No. No platform can really compete with YouTube in terms of views. No, and that's not the point. You may have noticed the title Digitally Displaced. That happened because for a short period this weekend, I was actually locked out of Facebook. I was trying to change it lists me as Deacon Joseph Swaden, and I haven't been a deacon in almost a year. So I finally said, I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to go into the Facebook, and I am going to find where it's there and take it out. And I did this thing where it was like, do you want ID verification? Which I don't. So I did what I could. And I did exactly what I thought I was supposed to. And they blanked me out. I was just gone. People were writing me like, Father, what happened? Your Facebook profile is gone. I'm like, yeah, I know. They kicked me out because I didn't want to put in an ID. And so I was a little bit frustrated there, but that's kind of what gave that title Digitally Displaced, because I remember the last time that people were getting deplatformed on Facebook, it was pretty bad. Like there were, people I know, friends and family, etc., were getting booted off the site. They'd have to create new accounts, or they just lost years worth of communications that they had. And so one of the reasons that I do use this, Bob, and I put it on Odyssey as well, is because my goal is to make sure that I am as digitally accessible as possible. And most people just immediately, not anymore. Many people immediately devolve to Facebook and are like, are you on Facebook? Now, granted, a large chunk of Earth is on Facebook. However, I think fewer and fewer users are actually using it, and people are moving to different platforms. But because I was paranoid about losing my Facebook page years ago, I moved to Gab. I started focusing again on Twitter, and so on and so forth. So a lot of what I do is colored by this whole anti-fragility, this digital anti-fragile kind of thinking that I have, that you can't get rid of me just as easily. Yeah, now Facebook's not for Zoomers. Time to move to TikTok. I'm not going to do that. I'm pretty convinced that there's more than enough Zoomers, etc., who use YouTube because, well, I'm not. I don't plan to try TikTok anytime soon. Saab asks, who else here has never had a Facebook account? I'd be surprised if anyone does. But it is good that you don't. It's you're not in that system. But so that explains why I have the Odyssey account, because I was afraid of being deplatformed on YouTube. Why I'm trying to set up the Rumble account, and well, first time today. No. I've seen the TikTok priest. No, I have no interest in becoming a TikTok priest. None. Okay, so let me see here. How old are you, Sava? We'll never know. Like that one creepy papist priest. Yeah, no, that's never going to become me. Some people like TikTok, though. I'm not going to down it. It's just that it's not my preferred format in any way, shape, or form. So, anyway, I found this Odyssey thing. Hold on, and I'm going to put it on. It's a video that is available on YouTube, but just out of spite, I'm going to put the Odyssey one on. And it's called The Chosen's Ecumenical Push for a One World Religion. Coming back to the Mother Church, hot seat. So I was like, believe it or not, Sava became the TikTok reader. Become the TikTok reader. That could be interesting. Old enough to know better. Very good. So let's give this a view as we do here and see what they have to say. Let me see if I can. I think they only. Okay, there we go. And I'm hoping it shared the audio.
We released a video some time ago about The Chosen and our thoughts on the content and its.
Matthew Stephanie, may God bless you. Can you guys hear it? Just want to make sure.
Impact in Christianity and society at large. We got a lot of feedback from that video.
And some questions that came up about the ecumenical movements.
So today, I'm in the hot seat.
Hot seat today.
Responding to one of those comments.
I'll read the question here. It was several months later that I found out that the producers were Mormon.
At the time, I was hoping they would see the real Jesus and become believers.
But what happened instead is an atrocity.
Jenkins becomes ecumenical in that he believes Mormons and Catholics and other religions believe in the same Jesus and will have eternal life.
Therefore, people watching the show, believing this is the Jesus of the Bible, are all led astray to the true gospel and will most likely not be saved. Now, I'm discovering years later that Jenkins uses unbiblical Catholic Mormon doctrines in the script, and this is why we are not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers, because a lie is easier to believe than the truth.
Now, the discussion about ecumenicalism is pretty polarized.
What drives me nuts is ecumenicalism. They use that the entire time. Like, that's like, I feel like that's like the Hollywood version of the term ecumenism. Like, I remember the young Pope using ecumenicalism. I'm expecting them to talk about recreational drugs any second. You're going to be disappointed. They frankly make the Lord look lame. I'm not sure if you're referring to The Chosen or our hosts here.
Rising. So let's start with the definition. Ecumenicalism is promoting or relating to unity among the world's Christian churches.
There is an initiative to sort of sweep all of the churches underneath one sort of belief system.
At last count, there are over 33,000 Christian denominations.
I just want to know, I like how she says that like it's a good thing. It's just bizarre, but in any case,
it's going to be very difficult. There's a lot of different belief systems out there, and it seems like somebody's got to give or take, right? So you're going to not come to the table with all your same beliefs and mesh well with other people's. I believe that there is going to be a separation of two classes of people in the very end of time. You're either going to be a follower of God or you're not going to be a follower of God.
To be a Christian means to be a follower of Christ. Now, getting back to the argument in favor of ecumenicalism, Jesus himself prayed that we all be one. Now, in the context of what was happening during the time that Jesus prayed that prayer, among the disciples, there was a diversity of gifts. But Jesus was praying that they would be united in spirit, in objectives, and in beliefs. No one would be striving for...
I like the cartoon flames. I don't know. This is... Imagine seeing James Martin next to Carl at Nicaea 20. Hey, we just don't know. Okay? We don't know.
Supremacy. But instead, everyone would be working together with the goal of showing the world at large who the divine really is, Jesus. Now, the problem is when we, sinful humans, try to achieve this in the way that we think is best, instead of following the clear instructions and directions of Jesus.
In Dallas Jenkins and Jonathan Rumi's interviews with their project called The Chosen and other projects, they bring up this concept of ecumenicalism a lot. They talk about these initiatives, and there was a Instagram post with Jonathan Rumi talking about just going out and promoting some of the projects he's working on and what a big ecumenical push this is.
The Catholic Church has been the main champion for uniting the denominations, but at what cost? Unity at what cost?
there was a Catholic priest that was invited to Kenneth Copeland's church that said something very interesting about all of the churches coming back to Rome.
We know that the first 1,000 years there was one church. It was called the Catholic Church. And the word Catholic means universal. It doesn't mean Roman. Catholic means if you're born again, raise your hand if you're born again. You're a Catholic. I've come to understand that diversity is divine. It's division that's diabolic. The Roman Catholic Church and the Protestant Lutheran Church signed an agreement that brought an end to the protest. This brought an end to the protest of Luther. Brothers and sisters, Luther's protest is over. Is yours.
If you're born again, you become a child of God and are granted access to the kingdom of heaven. But listen to the language of the bishop. He expressed that if you're born again, you're a Catholic, not a Christian, a follower of Christ, but a Catholic, which effectively puts Catholicism as supreme and all others having to join in with them to enter heaven. Pope Francis has made appeals for unity with Protestants.
Ci sono famiglie che si vogliono e famiglie che non si vogliono, famiglie che si uniscono e famiglie che si separano. E noi siamo.
To say the least, they are interesting, and this is where it gets even worse. I was actually surprised because, I mean, these are very, very, they kind of seem like low church, really kind of like the fundy types, and a little on the dorky side, yeah. But the point is, I'm surprised at how much they got right from outside observation, just from the craziness. And what the Pope says is, oh, it's even better.
Mi permetto la parola separati. I peccati ci hanno separati, I nostri peccati.
Sin, all sin.
I malintesi nella storia, ma una lunga strada
Lots of sins.
di peccato comunitario. Ma chi ha la colpa? Che pregare al Signore perché ci sta. E avanti, siamo fratelli. Ci diamo spiritualmente
Give each
questo
other a
abbraccio
spiritual hug, guys.
e lasciamo che il
Spiritual
Signore
hug time.
finisca
Like that
l'opera che
scream
Lui
that
ha
It
incominciato.
did with
Perché questo è un
Wagner and
miracolo, il
Dyer.
miracolo dell'unità è incominciato.
And Protestants such as Dallas Jenkins has said,
the stories of Jesus we do agree on, and we love the same Jesus.
So let's just consider the idea
Hold on,
of
we'll consider that in a second. Is it just because Dallas Jenkins reminds me of that, like the guy from Sugar Ray? I don't know if anyone knows who that was, but that's what it looked like. The guy from Sugar Ray is running a Jesus show for the Mormons. Can we get Emperor Palatine off the screen? I don't think they refer back to him. Try the 50s with those beliefs. Try any time with those beliefs. This is all so tragic. But oh boy, Mark McGrath, thank you. Yes, that's what it looks like. Mark McGrath started a Jesus show, and so let's consider the idea that I drink actual milk instead. All right, guys, the meanness level is like at the hundreds. It's like I'm feeling the rage in the chat. So let's get our guy back on
is everybody following the same Jesus?
Jehovah's Witnesses believe Jesus is a created being and do not pray to him. Then you have Mormons who believe Jesus and Satan are brothers. Catholics believe Mary is the one who we need to intercede to even reach Jesus.
Does that mean that just because you believe in Jesus, that's all that glues us together? Listen to what it says in Matthew 7:21 through 23. This is Jesus speaking about the end of time, saying, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven." So not everybody that says, "I'm a follower of Jesus," is necessarily going to get into heaven just because you profess that you are a follower of Jesus. That's what this is saying. But he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Well, what's the will of God, right? When it was asked of Jesus, really, how do we have set my Father in heaven? Well, what's the will of God, right? When it was asked of Jesus, really, how do we have salvation? He said, love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. He's really talking about the 10 Commandments. And listen to what Jesus says. Many in those last days will say to me, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? That's calling yourself a
Or
Christian
there's
and
only a
doing things
little
in
bit more. Oh,
Jesus'
I can
name.
speed it to
Cast
1, 2,
out
5.
demons
Hold
in your
on.
name. That's calling yourself a
I'll
Christian
end your
and
torture
calling
quickly.
and casting out demons. Many have done wonderful
Oh, man,
works
now he's
in
got
your
anger.
name, in Christianity. And then Jesus will have to say to them, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers or practicers of lawlessness or iniquity. So what's the will of God? To
I
do what
don't
God
love
is
videos.
asking
You
for
can
us to
find
do,
that
right?
video.
The
I'll
Ten
look
Commandments,
it up.
that's what glues us together.
Now, I'm not against unity. There are many passages of scripture that advocate for that and also give instruction on how to achieve it.
It's
But
really
none of them
kind of
call for us
boyfriend
to
Jesus
compromise.
vibes. Okay. I mean, I think we pretty much. Do you want me to continue the last minute and a half? If not, I mean, it's not even a minute. I don't know if you guys can take it. I'm starting to feel like, the crowd's going to turn on me. But anyway, okay. All right. So the point is in this here. No. The point is in this here demonstration is that even the most, I guess you could say, megachurch type Protestants already kind of, some of them are starting to realize through vehicles like The Chosen that this is, there's something seriously wrong here. Let me put this in small. Let's see if there's any Odyssey comments. Okay, Father, my ears are bleeding. Yeah, if only I could get audio that high quality. We're in the middle of a fast. This is good for penance. Thank you for pausing the video. I agree with that. Okay, so we've got some for and against. I'm gonna go with the fours only because I'm a terrible person, and just because why not? Let me see here. All right, so I'm gonna make it go on that 1, 2, 5. To go super fast. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm sharing. I'm the only one hearing. It's me now. Hold on. Don't forget that you can call in. Wow, so you're making me feel bad now. I feel really bad.
Information. He tells them in Luke 24:47 that we are to go out and preach repentance and remission of sins, and that should be preached to all nations. That's everybody around the world. That means all the different religions. Repentance and remission of sin. How do you know what sin is? The Ten Commandments is a compilation of things that we understand. How's our relationship to God? How's our relationship to man?
When it comes to the foundation of unity, Jesus, he keeps it so simple. If you love me, keep my commandments.
It's unity in what God's asking us to do.
Anything outside of that is not grounds for unity among the denominations.
If you liked this video and you want to see more content like this, check out our Hot Seat playlist. And if you want to study the Bible more, check out our website at lls.tv/Bible.
Okay. We're done. Goodbye, Odyssey. Thank you. This is a CIA enhanced interrogation technique. Perhaps I do not want to see more. Okay, finally, I think the yays have finally turned, but it's okay because we got to the bald guy advertising at the end, and that's all. So this was not a good video. Production wise, it was actually pretty good. Like it was, I would say it was like probably like the level of like those spicy wing shows. They had very good production values. But yeah, the hosts were kind of nerdy and the subject was kind of broad. But my point was that even your most megachurch Protestants can start to see something is wrong. Our heresy is being orthodox, I suppose. Absolutely. Old Calendrus is heretic sect. Well, that's our reminder that today is our live Q&A show where you can call in and make comments. Just click on the link at the top of the chat. Yeah, we got a tough guy here. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we get. Yeah, let's see how long he lasts. I bet you that was his last comment, and then he ran away to go watch something else. Oh wow! It took 23 minutes for someone to call us heretics. Is that a record? It's so old. After watching this, maybe free speech on social media platforms is wow. You're just coming up with the zingers today, aren't we? We're just like wow. People are like coming up like these people just are disgusting, and like So anyway, all right. So if we have any questions or comments, just to recap, I would be doing a cafe stream, but we got to work on the cafe. I did get back my Facebook account. I eventually relented and gave them my ID when I realized that I had sent my ID once on Facebook Messenger, so they already had it. So I was like, waste of time. But in any case, I'm looking for questions. I'm looking on Gab. I'm looking on YouTube. I'm looking to see what questions, comments we have. Okay, apparently my Gab is there's no questions there. I put up a Ken meme, and apparently it took off for some reason. But let's see here. Oh, wait, we've got someone coming in. Oh, it's Saba. Okay, I think the deaf might be better off in that regard. Hey, Saba, may God bless you.
Hello.
Hello. And so, this, let me see here. Oh, what's this? Is there a way to wisely utilize TikTok or Telegram, or especially X, and make critical comments on the most popular so-called Christian #1 post? Thus, you advertise your channel. There are ways to do that. It's just that it takes a lot of dedicated time. Like you could devote a day to it, where you could do that. But I will say that arguing on X, or Twitter, arguing on Facebook, etc., do attract attention. They do attract more attention than people realize. Did you watch the recent Orthodox Ethos interview with Father Seraphim's godchildren? I did not. And there's a few reasons for that. The first one is many of Father Seraphim's godchildren, if I remember correctly, were infants. Because he baptized people and they had families. I'm not sure. At least I want to guess that might have been the case. I couldn't possibly imagine what good that would be, what good that would do. So I like my godchildren, and I don't have. I think I have like maybe one. If that no, I don't have any godchildren. But if I did, I would not want them speaking for me. I don't think that a godchild is, in most cases, an accurate reference to the sponsor. That's especially true with adults. So, no, I don't see. I didn't watch it yet. That's one reason I didn't watch it, is because I didn't take it seriously once I saw the title. He probably found, ecumenist godchildren. No idea. I did hear from Subdeacon Ictarios that he did watch it, and he mentioned that they were saying to the effect of like one godchild was like, Father Seraphim would have gone with the Union because Sergianism ended in 2007. Yeah, I'm sure you can say that Sergianism ended in 2007. Yeah, okay, yeah. They said Father Seraphim would have gone with the Union in 2007. One, I strongly feel that Father Seraphim would be pretty upset with him for putting words in his mouth. But in any case, I assume there's quite a few godchildren of Father Seraphim. But the point is, I wouldn't trust what they say as accurate representations of what he thought. So let me see here. JICF, how about you hop on the stream and give us your reasons why? I'd love it if JICF would, but I don't even think he's here. I think he came on, wrote that, and ran away. Because I hate to say it, but most of the people who say these things they're not serious challengers. I doubt he would have gone with the Union, but we have no way of knowing and saying that is not fair. That's true. We don't have a way of knowing and saying because he had his own life. We simply don't know. We know that God takes away people in his time. So we have no idea what would have happened if that was subverted. There may have been a reason specifically that God took him at the time he did. But these questions are almost never asked with any nuance. I was taught monastics are not to be godparents to laity. Yeah, in general, from what I understand, that's the rule. I think it's different when you're dealing with like bishops, because bishops often can be godparents. Let me see here. Father Vladimir Anderson was a spiritual child of Father Seraphim and ended up in the Rokor A before his repose. Exactly. On Father Seraphim's writing, he makes it clear there need to be a free all-Russian council before any talk of union can take place. That's absolutely right. Yeah, there's no indication in Father Seraphim's writings that he would have gone along with it. So I think it's really kind of cagey and awful that, 40 years after his death, that his repose, that they're going to pull out these people like, I was Father Seraphim's godchild, and I think he would have gone with the union. Like, no one cares. If it was anyone but Father Peter Harris putting this on because he dresses with that air of authority, nobody would care what someone's godchildren thought about Father Seraphim unless they were very close to him, which is the implication, which is mostly not the case. It's just silly. So maybe I'll watch it. It looks really long, if I remember. I don't know how long it was, but I'm not interested in seeing it per se. It's just that if people keep asking, I will do it. I did get from the last chat, the cafe chat, that we want to do a show about Typica, so I do have that in plans. So hopefully I'll be doing something like that either this week or next week. People like to ignore that Father Seraphim proposed a year before the 1983 anathema. That is correct. Question: RE.113 of the Longer Catechism of Saint Philaret, Adam and Eve were permitted to eat from the tree of life. CF Genesis 1:29. When did mankind become aware of the existence of the tree of life? I would presume when God was telling them in the garden. I don't know that there's any other real answer I can give based on the scriptures. Does Father Peter have a bishop yet? I feel like that's just petty. And I don't like playing into that because I realize that fighting from within is it's a bad thing. One could even say it's heretical. But the problem is too many people on the World Orthodox side are trying to use this as an argument for his anti-ecumenism claims. And ecumenism is bad. So when most of the people who have been pushing the whole he doesn't have a bishop thing are also really usually big fans of Elpidophorus, etc. Is here's in the bishop limbo. Yeah, he has been for a while. He's generically under the Russian Synod, is how they basically are saying it now. It's not what the World Orthodox is doing with Father Peter here isn't good. That is absolutely correct. It is not. But he's done this to himself, is the problem. There's nothing stopping Father Peter from joining a true Orthodox bishop. He knows who we are. He inadvertently or sometimes indirectly argues against us. That is correct. You are not supposed to be a long-term non-commemorator, unless I'm mistaken. That is absolutely right. Once you're commemorating no one and you're commemorating all Orthodox bishops, it is incumbent on you to find Orthodox bishops. If you're not doing this, then your non-commemoration is largely pointless. Let me see here. Maybe he'll come over to GOCK. Is that possible? I've actually made that mention and suggestion to folks in the GOCK. At some at higher levels than others, but I think they know that what he's doing is a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little more insidious. It would be nice if he did, yeah, I hope he does too, join some true Orthodox Synod, but I'm starting to think he's taking this principled opposition thing as like basically a market, for lack of a better word. Yeah, exactly. If he doesn't, I think, Father Simeon hits it on the head. He says he gives here its purpose. That's true. If he wasn't doing this, like if he joined one of our synods, then he wouldn't be as interesting anymore. He'd be doing outreach as opposed to having a pre-inbuilt market. So this is, there's something really cagey about the whole thing. And then why not? Who's praying for this? Old Orthodox bishops, and speaking specifically about the OCA, have put a lot of priests in limbo. Others have done it too, though I specifically have them in mind. I don't doubt it, but there's nothing stopping those priests from joining true bishops. He's intentionally trying to keep people under heretical bishops. There you go. Well, here's produced a lot of content against true orthodoxy. I mean, not a lot. In some ways, he's inadvertently helped true orthodoxy, but not like he planned to. I think he was trying to be something other than that. Here's is the Orthodox version of Taylor Marshall. That's an interesting way to put it. He's doing the devil's work, whether doing it intentionally or not. I agree. Here's is like Vigano. I think that's, considering Vigano just got excommunicated, I think that's a very fair assessment. He's keeping the company line, but at the same time trying to get past that. So it is problematic, to say the least. So Savo, what do you have any questions or comments or ideas or thoughts today?
One thing I wanted to bring up is earlier I was participating in the pitchfork mob against the silly video, which yes, people are getting a little rowdy, including myself. But one thing I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if this is the proper place to bring it up, is my grandmother recently got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So
Okay.
if people could pray for her, her name is Bridget, that would be very much appreciated.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put that out there.
The grandmother of the reader, Bridget, who preserved her life for many years. Let me see here. Okay, next support video. Hope to support you as I don't see anything possible now. Hopefully you can set up instructions on Ufrosimos Cafe about the list of old calendar groups and their website links. I am actually going to do that. I realize that is necessary, and we actually did have something like that. We have something like that on Gab, but yeah, we should have that on the cafe. And unfortunately, if you caught the beginning of the stream, the cafe is a mess right now, and I'm trying to fix it. So hopefully we'll get that done soon. Oh, they finally got Vigano, huh? I hadn't heard. Yep, brand new. Yeah, that way someone can find parishes, etc. Well, one thing that the cafe used to have, and doesn't anymore because that's the next phase, the cafe was one of the most complete sources for true Orthodox stuff when it was in its heyday. And one of the things it had was a map globally. And I mean, it had its own sectarian bias, but it was still useful. 20 years later, the data points on that map are in the hundreds, and I've got to go through each and every one of them. So God willing, that will happen. I'll probably include listings to jurisdictions first and their websites, and then the map will be the next phase. But first, we have to fix the cafe. Okay, God willing. Let me see here. And so, on your handmaiden Bridget being a session of St. John of Shanghai in San Francisco, St. Nectarius of Regina, and the Holy Martyr and Healer of Pantaleon. Yes, well, the reason why I purposely phrased it, the grandmother of the reader, is because I do not know if Bridget is Orthodox.
She is not.
She's not. Okay, so you couldn't call her by name unless you used a different form of the prayer where it was listing her for life, health, safety, and the finding of salvation. So that's kind of where there. Discord gone, cafe gone, Facebook gone. I got back to Facebook, okay? I got back to Facebook, and the cafe it is on. It's just that all the features are gone, and I have to fix them. So hopefully I get that done this week. Why doesn't Vigano start his own branch? Then the Dicastery for Christian Unity can welcome him and his people back to Rome in 2025. That's pretty funny. Very true, though. We'll pray for Salo. Yep. Okay, very good. So, Bridget's got, your grandmother has got some prayer friends here. Let me see. It is incomplete, though. What do you mean? If you're talking about the cafe, from what I understood, everything was put back, but all the features are gone. Please don't scare me and say that all the books are gone. Oh, boy. I'm going to check the cafe right now. Cafe has become I hate putting this on the screen, but let's see here. The cafe currently looks like this. This was a chat thing that, oh, well, it does have thumbs up. That's okay. No, it doesn't. This is an older chat that the cafe had that we didn't use before. Oh boy, this is where I'm scared. Double checking. Okay, it looks like okay, the main thing is that the documents appear to still be here. So this is good. So that was my biggest concern. How many years? There's a list. The map link I posted, I guess it didn't go through. No, but if you were to come on and send it to me, or if you message me in the cafe, I can put it up. And just message me on the cafe and I'll put that up. Those are incomplete lists. I actually have a master list of your map, our old map, and another map. And I'm just combing through it, but I mean, there's only 24 hours in the day. So
why is the website white?
Because the theme that gave it dark mode and other stuff is also gone. I mean, I paid for all this and it's all gone. I'm not happy about this. I'm ashamed to even look at it right now. I'm really mad. All the setup, all the work is just gone. The posts are still there, thank God, and the documents are still there. Yeah, I don't use light mode I use light mode for almost nothing. So yeah, I'm pretty sad about that. You get an error link for the cafe. You might want to just type in frostinuscafe.com. Like if you had like even like the wall and the profiles and stuff, it's all gone. So if you're linking back to like your profile page, it's gone. So I mean, I'm working on it, but it's yeah.
I know Matushka father is very good with a lot of the programming stuff. Has she taken a look at it, or?
She is now. We're doing that now, but we're gonna have to make a few changes and things. It's just the fathers wrote in dark mode, as we all know. Never tried Discord light mode, by the way. Yeah, I've always I'll switch to light mode, take a picture of it, by the way, and then put it up as I'm really using it. But yeah, I don't use light mode. But we had light and dark mode, and it's gone. Is there a way that one can take a backup of the cafe documents books so the documents are stored offline and indexed? Well, that's the way they're stored online. In order to store them offline, they'd have to be downloaded. And so, it's a collective effort, but if anyone wants to go through it and download the documents individually, they can. I welcome that. That's the purpose we have it up there for. The goal is, the cafe is 25 years old. My goal is not to just try to get it back up for a couple of months and see what I can do. My goal is to have it long term back up as a true Orthodox resource for communications, for chats, for messages, for document storage, and keep it and modernize it as well as we can so it stays competitive. But yeah, we do have a backup offline. Father, was it you shared a Bible that had black paper with white text on Facebook? I can't recall. It's been all. Yes, it was. I shared an advertisement for the black paper Bible. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I shared that as a joke. I think it's kind of silly. If people like it, they can, but I would not pay extra for a Bible with black paper and white letters. I just wouldn't. If I wanted dark mode on my Bible, I'd read it on my screen. Let me see here. I'll do that because I don't trust keeping stuff online, and I've printed off copies of stuff I want to read. I completely understand that. Making sure to take care of your internet security and your file security is always a big deal. Oh no, I'm fine with my regular Orthodox Bible. LOL, yep, absolutely. Once again, today we do our live Q&A session where you can get your questions answered live as well as member-requested video reviews. So let's get started. As always, if you want to jump on stream and ask a question or make a comment, just click the link at the top of the chat. Adrian Wyatt says, we need to work towards a hybrid mixed face-to-face an electronic, including online, pan True Orthodox Synod. I think that to some degree the technology is in place. That's not what's needed. What's needed is a change of heart among many of the leadership. And it has changed a lot. It has changed a lot in the past 20 years. I hate sounding like a broken record, but if you think the situation with True Orthodoxy is bad now, you should have seen it 20 years ago. Globally, I know that somebody had just asked. There's a couple of dozen jurisdictions, and then there are a few individual dioceses, etc. Somebody asked, is it possible Archbishop Gregory of Denver isn't a schismatic? Well, my view is if there was a true Orthodox bishop willing to take him and correct his subordinates' orders, you might be right. But based on what I can see, there is no true Orthodox synod on earth that recognizes Gregory of Denver anymore. None.
Oh, I do have a question, Father. Even though I know it's not a variety that you like to answer, which is a Western Rite question.
Okay.
I was actually I heard that sigh in the voice, but the question I have in particular, if you know off the top of your head, I know like the colors that we wear for vestments and what we have in the church, even in the Eastern Rite, isn't like a set thing. It is kind of
local variable.
Yeah, variable. Is there a rule within the Metropolia about how it's done with the Western Rite, or is it basically the same as the Eastern Rite from like Russian and Greek?
Yeah, it's basically the same as the Eastern Rite. The idea is there are liturgical colors that have developed differently in each of the Western rites before the schism. So, for example, in the Metropolia's typical Western Rite, there are sackcloth days where the vestments are actually made of sackcloth. There are rose days where the vestments are like a salmon pink, and so on. But the basic rule is you should have a set of light and dark vestments, which is kind of very similar to the rule that is prevailing in the East. If you have the money to have a bunch of different liturgical colors, you can, but you start with one or two. You start with what you have.
I see.
Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the only thing that was originally designated was bright or dark. That is correct. That's the way it was universally. Wosny, you should send soy milk to Gregory. Yeah. And then I can see how people...
soy boy.
You broke up?
I mean, Gregory already acts like a soy boy. I don't think he needs any more soy.
I think he would probably get angry at that comment. Let me see here.
I think
it's the only reason that people would be drawn to him is he does have kind of an affable personality on the surface, and he's been promoted heavily, not just by World Orthodoxy as true Orthodox, but by Roman Catholics and others. So a lot of people think he is the true Orthodox bishop, not realizing there are hundreds of others. But he's also, I hate to say it's a cult. It's a cult, and unfortunately, it's one that in some ways is questionable. It's definitely schismatic. I can see how people would be drawn to him, but I would hope they escape before that happens. Father, do we know where Bishop Varnava Prokofiev ended up? Yes, we do. After a scandal in the Rossi that occurred, I want to say in the early 2000s, he joined Rossi, and then he kind of was caught in some kind of scandal. I don't want to, go into it deeply. I know it involved people. I've heard different versions of the story, but he ended up retiring back in what would become Rocor MP, and if I remember correctly, he died shortly thereafter. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I guess he's still alive. I guess he is.
Bishop Barnava, he proposed in
Yeah.
2008.
Okay, so he does. You see, this is so sad that's how they have the entire. They have a lot of stuff about him on the the Orthodox Wiki, but it doesn't even mention that he died. So
I was told with Vladika Varnava that he proposed not in communion with the Rokor MP, not in communion with the RTOC, but not in communion with the Roque as well. He was sort of like they kind of kicked him out of everywhere he went, so that's what I was told.
okay, this archbishop in Ohio still around, still isolated. I'm not sure which archbishop you're talking about. I
Is
know of
it Archbishop
Metropolitan Nicholas.
Michael?
Who? Archbishop Mark?
Michael, the Ukrainian guy, and also Metropolitan Nicholas proposed recently.
Okay. Michael Kirkland.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was under him for a little bit. Also, Metropolitan Nicholas proposed last year.
What?
Yes,
Metropolitan Nicholas Uhas?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he proposed.
That doesn't sound right. That's odd.
Last time I tried to contact him, I couldn't get a hold of him, and I tried like a week later, and I saw something online about. I thought it said he proposed, but I'm not sure.
I would be very shocked, but it is possible. Nicola, let me see here, because then I'd be very confused. Because yeah, he just posted. It looks like he just posted 2 days ago or 5 days ago.
Well, never mind then. I thought I heard he proposed, but I could be thinking about someone else.
It's possible, yeah. No, I think he's alive. We don't talk anymore ever since he gave me a release, but I do see that he still appears to be posting on Facebook. So let me see here. Does Mount Athos use the old calendar? I'm going to pretend you didn't ask that question. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it does. Yes. Do we know if the Orthodox Church of France is a vagrant group or not?
The vagrants.
Yeah, they became that way after that. Are there any Mount Athos statements on ecumenism? At this point, I would recommend the all-important site known as Google. And I would type in Mount Athos and ecumenism. And then I would go to sfigmenu.com, since even though most of Mount Athos is somewhat against ecumenism, sfigmenu is the only one standing up against the Patriarch. Yes, several are got autonomous from our former Italian metropolitan. That's Metropolitan Nicholas. Yeah, he is still around. Let me see here. We were just talking about him there. I never knew that. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So, in any case, trying to think here, what else is going on? Okay. Oh, I got a crying dog. All right. So, once again, just to remind, we are on our live Q&A session where you can get your questions answered live, as well as member-requested video reviews. So if you want to jump on stream to ask a question or make a comment, click the link at the top of the chat. We are approaching the 1 hour mark. And so, as I mentioned, today's stream is kind of like a free chat stream because of the issues with the cafe. God willing, we are going to have that fixed, hopefully by, the next few days, while we look for kind of more long-term solution for that. Yep. Yeah, Mount Athos isn't what it was in terms of standing up to heresy, sadly. Well, there are some obvious exceptions, of course. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I never just give up and say, well, the rest of Mount Athos is finished. There's a number of things that could happen if the ecumenical patriarchate suddenly loses a hold on power with the Greek government. Zealot monks could take over other monasteries. It doesn't necessarily mean something's lost. It does mean there's probably inevitable conflict, but even that's not permanent. Father, what is the secret behind your long beard? I'm struggling to grow one. First off, some of it is bound to be genetics. The other thing was that I, grew beards from high school onward and would shave them and let them grow again. I spent a lot of time in cold climates. It makes a difference. But also, regularly tending to it will increase its size and fluffiness. And now this is just me not shaving for a long time. And so I'm guessing, I'm trying to think, maybe like 7 or 8 years. I mean, like this is not grown overnight, and I'm old, as you can see, so there's a difference. Can you explain the historical ROCOR view towards the other non-MP EP patriarchates? I've said on this show previously that there wasn't a monolithic view, even though both sides or multiple sides in ROCOR thought that their view was the ROCOR view, even though oftentimes that was inaccurate, to say the least. Yeah, it's true. Serbia, Bulgaria, Antioch, and Alexandria come to mind. This is part of the reason that I am writing the World on Fire article that is members only. I'm hoping to get back to that this week, and I can start the first decades. The attitude changes because things were happening at rapid paces. Serbia in 1920 was not the same as Serbia in 1950. Bulgaria in 1910 was not the same as Bulgaria in 1940. Antioch in 1930 was not the same as Bulgaria as Antioch in 1970. Alexandria, you get my point, that, the church had to react basically based on what was happening at the time. And a lot was happening in the 20th century, which finally led to a fuller estrangement by the mid-60s between the ecumenists and non-ecumenists, and eventually the leading to the proliferation of true Orthodox groups in every Orthodox land. So that's part of the reason why I can't answer that question with a simple black or white thing. Let me see here. Thanks for the 11 links at Gab that has links to the True Orthodox websites. Hopefully someone can work full-time to find ways for us to unify. All right, now, I think the only person for that, I guess, is me, because this is kind of my full-time work. But the only thing I can do is get people to talk to each other. And that's what I would honestly tell other people to do. If they really want to build on true Orthodox unity, it's good that people are visiting each other's parishes and things like that. I know Sava does pilgrimages of that type, etc. But if we really want to see something that's sustainable, we really have to convince our bishops, especially the ones that are completely uninterested in dialogue, into the idea of possible dialogue. Interestingly enough, I would venture, if you ask that question of Gregory of Colorado, that there would be nobody he'd be willing to dialogue with, which would tell you about that. Otherwise, maybe he has a chance. I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know that if you want to see a better future, you have to work for the future you want to create, while keeping in mind that ultimately God is in control of the situation. In the end, I could tell you about what we can do in the future, and I could drop dead of a heart attack. I've been having chest pains this whole show. So, the end is when God decides it. Until then, we should work to basically to cultivate good relations with people in, true Orthodox people and other synods. That's the best we can do. Okay. Mystic Matt, please visit us in Columbus. We love visitors. Entrance of the Theotokos Orthodox Church in the Avlona Synod. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. That's great. Yeah, that's our sister synod. If you're inviting me to come, or if you're inviting other people to come, well, I don't know. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. Well, I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania. I had a plan that I was thinking of going to Ohio, but I wasn't planning on it anytime soon. I do have some questions about some local issues, Matt. If you have a chance, if you could reach out to me. Even if you want to use the messaging on the cafe, or if you have my email, just try to reach out to me, and because I do have some questions actually about the regional church there. Hold on. Hope you feel better, Father. Thank you. If a priest does not do the prayer of absolution, do you need to confess the same sins next confession? Why would a priest not do the prayer of absolution? That doesn't make sense. Like, why would he do that? Like, that's the main part of the confession besides the actual confession. If he doesn't do the prayer of absolution, he's not giving you a confession. You haven't confessed. That's just strange. And I wouldn't understand how that would happen, because the way we do it is when you stand and you confess, the priest is there and he has to read the prayer over you and put his stole over you and read the prayer of absolution. The only way that you wouldn't get confessed or get absolved and need to confess the same sins is if you saw the priest coming to read the prayer of absolution and you ran away. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's the whole rite of confession. Okay, sure. Okay, very good. Thank you. As a penance, I don't understand. A penance is something separate from the absolution. A penance is what you do to show that you're sorry, but the absolution still occurred. If you died before the penance was completed, you would be considered forgiven. Is there a chance of any major reconciliation between any Matthewite and Florinite synods if there haven't been such successful rapprochements before? Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm guessing that it's going to be more likely that we're going to see, we'll probably see more individual dialogues. The Matthewites, I think, to some degree, have to kind of reach that level of dialogue with each other first before they do that with the Florinites, because they have their own divisions, and that concerns them. And I'm sure that's more upsetting to them than losing Florinites that generationally many of them have never even met. Let me see here. Okay, and I don't see any questions there. I'm going to check in the Gab, and then I'm going to check the Discord. Not the Discord, the Odyssey. Hold on. Okay, checking the Gab real quick. Looking for questions. Don't see any there. Okay, I'm going to go to my channel, see if there's anything in the stream. Okay. Okay. Shrink that. Nope, no questions there. All right, so let me see here. Okay, we've got some more comments. I know certain priests don't do the absolution if they think the person confessing it is not being sincere. That would be very rare and kind of judgmental and awful. If a priest isn't doing the absolution, then you don't have a confession. So yeah, you don't. If the priest says no, I'm not absolving you, then no, you would have to confess again because you didn't have a confession. However, if you confessed in sincerity, okay, let me see here. He wrote something else. Father Josiah said he doesn't do the absolution if he thinks people they're talking about other sins, and there's a priest monk I know that doesn't do it if he thinks they're not putting the effort. Where are these? What? Okay. In the first place, if I think someone is talking about someone else's sins, I'll just tell them, stop talking about someone else's sins. I'm not going to be like, I refuse to absolve you. Yeah. These are very strange. Find another priest. Honestly, find another priest. That doesn't sound healthy. Lack of contrition when confessing, perhaps. How would you know? It's reading faces. A person can be stone-faced and can feel terrible inside. I see. So if a person is doing confession, all they're doing is justifying their sins and blaming others for this. Can a priest refuse to read the prayer of absolution? They can. They can do that, but they'd have to have the actual cause and reason. And if a person is justifying their sins and blaming others for their sins, the job of the spiritual father is to correct them. If a person doesn't know how to do a confession right, the key is to gently tell them you're doing it wrong. I don't want to hear someone else's sins. I want to hear your sins. Like, a priest is supposed to do that. And I would assume any good priest does. So I don't know where these nightmare fuel priests are coming from. What you're asking. Okay, that's it. Google said there is an old calendar church in Seattle as I'm visiting there, but it seems closed. Anyone know of any? Definitely, we want to put that out there. If anyone knows of anything in Seattle, I'm always discovering new places.
Is it the St. Nectarios Agina Church? There's a Hockner Church in Seattle, and there's a GOCK Church. Those are only the only two there. I don't know which one you're talking about, Mr.
There's also Artok is in Oregon.
Yes, it's in Oregon.
Okay, that's in that's. So yeah, there should be a church there. I would Google that. Something like that. I've only heard about absolution being withheld in the Roman Catholic Church, and that's for various canonical infractions or something. I don't fully remember what that is. That's usually like a ban, for example, like that's really a minor form of excommunication. So if you're being refused absolution in that way, you can't confess effectively. Let me see. Hockna's in Seattle. So is GOCK. Roca V is in Seattle.
There's a Roca V church in Seattle?
I guess. Let me check.
That's okay. I actually didn't know that.
Hold on. Let's go to rocasabor.org and let us open it up in the screen.
I mean, I know Vladika Vladimir has a church in Vancouver, but I didn't realize he had one in Seattle as well.
I'm checking. Let me see here. Okay, that's New York. Buena, New Jersey, Lincoln, California, St. Paul, Minnesota, Chicago, Cleveland, University Park, Mansonville, Canada, Ontario, Edmonton, Vancouver. No. This is in Russia.
If you use Control F, you could probably just put in Washington or Seattle or whatnot.
Yeah, it's not coming up. Okay.
Yash, I think you might be confusing the parish they have in Vancouver with Seattle. They're not too far away, but it's like only about a 2-hour drive from Seattle to Vancouver. It's been a while since I've been in that area.
If you want a wife, go to Hockna. Okay. Do you guys I'm not sure what even to think about that. Do you guys generally accept OCA as Orthodox? Most of us would say the OCA is ecumenist, if not all of us. Go visit Hockna. I said maybe because I think it might be. All blood pressure and heart issues are helped by natural factors, whole earth, and sea, sunflower, vitamin E. I agree completely. Seattle would be close for us too. I didn't even think about that. That would be if there is. No, it's my dog. It's my dog. Father, are you friendly with anyone in the diorite circle at all? We need some third-party person to bring the two of you together for a discussion or debate. I know he avoids you. Yeah, I don't see how there's anyone who can convince him. And we've already spoken. We have a recording of that on this channel, especially with that. There is little to no chance that he's going to do that debate. There's a few reasons that make logical sense. The first one is he is massively underinformed, and I think he saw that in my debate with Resident Sleeper and doesn't want that to happen to him. Second off, I don't think he likes us because we've tried to reach out to him, so it makes him even more disinclined to want to talk to us. I don't think that he's going to, but his circle is huge, and if you could gain a long-form discussion with him, I think miraculous things could happen to a significant swath of his people's hearts. You're probably right. I mean, I hate to say this, but you could put a potato in a cassock and it be true Orthodox, and it would probably move a significant swath of his people's hearts. But the simple reality is that's why he won't do it. I don't think that's happening, Mr. Sanskrit. Could you explain the correct use of through the Son in the Fathers? Perhaps sum up the Tomos of 1285 in layman's terms regarding the correct use of through the Son versus what is condemned. I would highly recommend reading Crisis in Byzantium, which is on the cafe. The Blockernay Tomos is available online, but in all honesty, me summarizing it here, that's homework you can do yourself. Go to the cafe, go to Document Library, and go to or just search for Crisis in Byzantium. The full text is in that book, etc. But Father, how can you own the libs without J? I don't know. I just don't know. My reading of Dyer is that he is running a business. That is correct. Dyer, as in J. Dyer, I suppose. If you want to get Dyer's attention, send old calendar's arguments to Lofton so he can use them against the World Orthodox. No, Lofton wouldn't do it. And the reason why he wouldn't do it is because he's on the same side as the Dyerites. Whether they want to admit it or not, a lot of them are already kind of semi-ecumenists, and if they're not ecumenists altogether. So they're actually on the side of the people we're fighting against. So Lofton, if he chose a side, would choose the ecumenist side over ours, believe it or not, or other Catholic YouTubers. Any chance of a discussion with Father Hears? Yeah, I guess we're in the slim to none category today. I would say that chance is very, very low. Because I am GOC and our parish in Boston get persecuted by Hockna, I will never go to St. Nectarios in Seattle. I could understand that considering what happened. It's a lot. Well, my guess is that this is a fight over the buildings when Hockna and a lot of the people separated from Hockna and joined the GOC. They basically stood, they basically stole our parish building. This is...
The Hockna people claim the opposite, but it's a matter of perspective, I suppose.
Well, one has the building and one doesn't. That's, there's the perspective may change, but the facts don't. What I would say is that, frankly, it's understandable why they'd be mad.
The people at HCM claim that the GOCK tried to steal their building, building in Boston.
They tried to stole all their people. So, the point is that, I get that it can be seen from both sides, but when you do see it from both sides, that means you have to accept that both sides might have some validity or truth in the matter. My point is that Let Go 393 is here, HTM is not. So I'm not going to just dismiss his concerns.
That's true.
Father Joseph isn't famous enough for Father Peter to talk to. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think that's the reason. Because the deed was in Bishop Ephraim's name. So they would argue that that's their building. Which church are you part of? I'm with the Autonomous Metropolia of North and South America in the British Isles under Metropolitan John. St. Mark of Ephesus in Westwood. Okay, so we are now in the first quarter, going into the end towards the end of the first half of the show. If basically it kind of if we don't get too many other questions within the next few minutes, as this is a live Q&A show. Okay, that was worth it. That's worth it. Yeah. Father Joseph will have to say he's a godson of Father Seraphim Rose to get his attention. But if I did, he'd probably ignore me more because he knows what I'd have to say. Does Patrick Crick truly have the clout to put that together? Yeah, Patrick's pretty he's not happy with me right now. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but he's still dealing with the whole Margaret Barker thing with last week, the show that I do with Subdeacon Nectarios. I, up until that day, really had no idea, but a lot of people are kind of upset over it. And I get it. I get why they're upset. It's just that the facts are the facts. So it's unfortunate. Can we listen to Western choral music pieces? Yeah. No, you can. Most of the words to it are fine. Often they're just taken from antiphons, so on and so forth. You can't sing them in church, which is, it seems like every time I answer a question like this, there's always some guy who's like, Father Joseph said that we could do these services with the the Bach chant for the Tridentine Mass. So like that was all Father Joseph said. I didn't say that, and I'm never going to say that. So if that's an idea, I'm going to put it out. Let me see here. From a foolish, pragmatic point of view, they have nothing to gain from debating old calendars since they do not have a lot of views and they can only lose. Well, yeah, and that's part of the reason why. I mean, this show at this point is becoming increasingly visible. We're getting harder to ignore. So I don't think they want to accelerate the process further. I don't think they want to make it worse for themselves. So yeah, it is in their best interest to avoid us. But it's in our best interest to keep pressing the issue and to keep growing. I think you can put Craig in the timeout corner. I don't know what that means. Let me see here. Yeah, okay. GOC was once a novice at HTM and Hakna. Don't see them as true Orthodox. I know too much about them. Well, if you're talking about the name worshiping thing, I get it. There we go. Western Rite Orthodox use those hymns, so it's fine, I would think, but Father Joseph would know best. No, I didn't say that. We do not use these hymns in church, ever. I was just talking about listening to choral pieces on the radio or on the internet. Pardon me, Father, I don't mean to bring up personal matters. Okay. Well, feel free. Or do you mean me? Did I do it? Okay. It's not personal. To this degree, it's professional because we're both YouTubers, and we both do this to spread the message of the gospel in our own ways. So it's not personal. But I watched the Margaret Barker show. What's the beef and Craig and company have with what was said about Barker? It's I feel like Patrick is going through like the stages of grief, like. When you're talking about like this situation, a lot of them don't think about stuff like that. They don't realize just how influential Barker has been in world Orthodoxy in America in the past 20 years. So when it's laid out in front of them, if they didn't already know about it and wanted to hide it, it's probably a shocker. Because it's a shocker, they don't want to deal with it. That's cognitive dissonance, unfortunately. Oh boy, I feel so called out by Father Joseph right now. What I do, what I say, okay. Only true Orthodox GOCK Church in Northwest USA is from Portland, from what I can tell. Okay. I can't do Mozart pre-1955, the Latin Mass. No, you can't. You can listen to it for entertainment, eat popcorn, play it alongside dinner, but no, it's not going in the church. Will there be a second part of Elijah, or is the contact lost? No, there is. God willing, he is actually interested in studying this issue, and we're going to do a second show, God willing, in August. So we'll be looking at that in the next few weeks. Oh, sorry, Father. I thought you did. Just showing my own ignorance. Please forgive me. My knowledge of Western Rite is limited to world Orthodoxy. So again, just showing our Western Rite is not their Western Rite. We only use pre-schism liturgies, pre-schism texts, pre-schism usages. Sava, you've seen our church. Does it look like a Western Rite church that when people normally think of what a Western Rite church is?
No, if you walk into Father Joseph's church,
well, I'm right. The Abbey. Technically, my church is Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's even the Abbey. It's not what you would expect. I mean, it's based off. I mean, I don't know the architectural style, but you don't walk in and it's not like, oh, this looks like a Roman Catholic church. You're not going to say that walking into the Abbey.
No, but it doesn't. It uses the pre-system design. It has a root screen with Christ and the Theotokos, which is thick enough to look like a wall, so on and so forth. But it's not the same. It's at all. LOL. Yeah, well, atomically, I know you've seen it, so you know what I'm talking about. What's the QRD on Margaret Barker? What's the word?
Quick rundown.
Oh, quick rundown. Okay, yeah, acronyms. Okay. Basically, she is a Methodist woman preacher who's really big in World Orthodox circles. She's she's on some commission for the Ecumenical Patriarchate. She's a Methodist preacher lady. She is, she teaches something called temple theology, which on the surface sounds Orthodox, but then shoves in all the modernisms in it. It's pretty awful. Metropolitan Jonah is like her biggest fan and has been recommending her books left and right. And then some guy finally put a video together of him teaching people and really pushing the Barker stuff. And someone put that together in a video, and there was a collective scream, a collective shriek from the Fighting From Within crowd, if you will, because they were being exposed. Roker MP people seeing their synod do nothing to an outspoken, unrepentant public heretic who is a bishop. Yeah, that was a lot faster. I should have just read your comment. It would have been better on my throat. They're going to do all they can to try to ignore it or become TO. I'm trying to decide between Orthodoxy and Catholicism. The closest Orthodox church to me is 2 hours away, but a Catholic church is much more close. Can you be Orthodox and go to a Catholic church? No, you can't. And, I would say this. I would say that once I get to the Typica program, where I can show you how you do the services of the church at home, you will realize that the Orthodox church that you build for yourself, your home chapel with your services, will be more complete, more in line with the church, and far closer than even that Roman Catholic church. So if you become Orthodox, no, you can't go into a heretical church. It's that simple. Will you do a part 2 of the Rocore True Orthodoxism with Patrick Craig Julian and Father John Whiteford? I am open to it. I think Father John is. I think Patrick is as well, as long as he's not mad at me. But outside of that, I don't know. That one's a little more up in the air. I simply don't know. Welcome to the channel, Michael. Father, imagine if that Twitter guy saw the Abbey, he'd probably freak out over the Metropolia not being like Antioch. The Twitter guy, I assume are you talking about like Devin Lawson or because if I remember correctly, a lot of these guys were specifically trying to subvert the Metropolia, so he wouldn't freak out. I'm sure he's actually seen pictures. It would just make him mad because what he wants is to push for his own Roman Catholic and Anglican garbage that they've been pushing in the Antiochian and Rocore Western Rites to have the same thing. Thanks to Orthodox Wasna. And that's a definite no. Absolutely. I agree. Why are you wanting to become Orthodox or Catholic? Yeah, you should want to become Orthodox. If you want to find the true faith, you want to stay away from the Roman Catholics. And if you have questions where you can't decide, ask us so we can answer. My parish is 2.5 hours away, so I understand. But trust me, I was World Orthodox, I was Roman Catholic, and now True Orthodox. True Orthodoxy is the way. Indeed, it is the Orthodox faith. I know I'm a random guy on the internet, but I do have experience making mistakes and finally getting it right. LOL, yes. Okay. Where are you located? Gennadios, yes. Okay. Give Fisher, GF, North Dakota. What was GF, North Dakota?
I would think the G might stand for great something. I don't know what the F stands for.
Great Falls, but I don't know what that is. The video you did with Father Whiteford is one of the best on the topic, and it didn't devolve, so it was very informative. It's one of the only ones that's been done on the topic, unfortunately, because we've been kind of kept out of the loop for so long. Grand Forks. Okay. Well, God willing, if we can get more people saying Typica and then getting regular priest visits, then we should be able to. Great French fries. Oh, I was way off. Well, okay. So at this point, what I am going to do is I am going to put up the questions, comments, close sign. We are now approaching the 1 hour, 30-minute mark. It's been fairly quiet otherwise. Yeah, okay. I do see the comment. I'm just going to answer. Was not. I'm afraid I don't like eating a face. Let me see. Okay. Well, comments are closed, Atomic Lead. But yeah, he just converted, so he's in true Orthodoxy. Okay, I keep saying it's closed, and I keep putting them up. Okay. All right. So, anyway, we're just going to close up real quick. So I want to thank everyone who was listening. And again, I do appreciate it. I want to thank everyone. Thanks, Sava, for being here. Thank our listeners. To those who had questions and had comments, to those who support our mission, to those who sent in a super chat, thank you for that, Matthew. And next week, we're probably going to be back to that cafe format. So all these comments will not be appearing. You're going to have to super chat to get in, or go on the cafe, which will hopefully be working. What a mess. But in any case, so I wanted to thank everyone who supported our mission. Please support the channel. We at NFTU do need your help. Support us by subscribing or donating at nftu.net, on Give, Send, Go, or on Odyssey. We remember all of you in our prayers, and we thank you for all the support for NFTU. And as always, if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to like and subscribe. In that case, may God bless you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and have a great night, everyone.